Hi guys, and welcome to another Hunt of the Month. This week's Hunt is a guy called Alan Graves. Now he's a Reform UK Councillor in Derbyshire. Now you're going to hear him talk about SEND children when he appeared on a local radio show. Now SEND means Special Education Needs and Disabilities. So we're talking about the most vulnerable people or the most vulnerable children in society. He was asked about overdiagnosis. Have a listen to this.
Do you think a part of the problem with SEND provision is overdiagnosis?
I do, actually. It's one of those, how bad it is, the diagnosis.
Is overdiagnosis an opinion?
I personally think there are too many people in the system. I think there are reasons for that, and it's about schools getting extra money.
The implication there is that schools are encouraging families to apply for things that they don't need.
I'm pretty sure that happens.
Wow. So what is your evidence that there is an overdiagnosis of mental health conditions in children?
I haven't got any evidence. Sometimes people have to cope with those issues.
He was asked for evidence and he said, I don't have any evidence. I have my opinion, but I don't have any evidence. Just let that marinate in your mind for a moment. A politician was asked for evidence, and instead of, normally what they do is they say, well, there's this report that I read in the Daily Mail, or I heard it on Facebook, or I spoke to parents or something. No, I have no evidence. Okay? I have no frigging evidence. Going with no evidence, I'm going to push the idea that there's some sort of corruption taking place because he mentioned money going to schools. So this incentive for schools, well, look, here's some extra money. Claim that there are more SEND children in your classrooms, or encourage parents to overdiagnose in order for us to get the money. See, if you make a claim like that, then you actually have to present evidence. You can't just say, well, I feel that that's the case, or I heard maybe on Facebook or something. No, he didn't even go that far. He just said, I don't have any evidence. He wants to punish literally the most vulnerable children in society based on nothing. Literally nothing. Once again, he didn't say, look, I saw this report, or I heard it from teachers, or I heard it from some parent. No, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And he still wants to punish children, because it would be children that would be punished. So why is he doing this? Well, as I keep saying, Reform UK is a party of the rich for the rich. So if you're very rich, you don't care about funding for SEND children. You probably send your kid to a private school, and if it costs more, well, then you just pay more if you're very rich. So a party of the rich hates poor people because poor people require more support, and more support requires higher taxes. And very rich people hate paying taxes, and certainly hate those taxes going to help the most vulnerable in society. Poor people, or SEND children, or the disabled, or immigrants, for example. So you have a party who pretends to be on the side of working class people, but at the same time pushes policies or refuses to provide funding or argues against funding for the most vulnerable in society. What a massive hunt this guy is. But maybe we should take something positive from this. He's been honest. He hasn't got a clue. He has no evidence. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So this is why it's important that Reform are exposed. This is what they represent. They're not on the side of the working class. They're certainly not on the side of the most vulnerable in society. They will claim to be. They will claim that, look, we do care about vulnerable people. We just want to streamline the flow of money through the public service or through councils. There's a lot of waste in councils, so we want to cut back on that waste. They're using it as a vehicle to cut back on the size of the government, because once again, a party of the rich, for the rich, wants small government. Government's scope or objective in their mind is just to funnel more money into the private sector, to cut regulations because big business doesn't like regulations, to cut back protections for workers because big business doesn't like protections for workers, to be anti-trade union because, once again, big business doesn't like trade unions. To cut back on money for the poorest and the most vulnerable in society because rich people don't like paying for that. When will ordinary people who vote for reform wake up and smell the coffee? These people, this party is not on your side. They're on the side of somebody else. It's a big club and you're not in it. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. And I'll see you in the next video.